Okay, come on.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, stop fretting about it. You can't say Right. Ladies and gentlemen, to be able to sing and play the guitar well is a talent. To be able to make people laugh is a talent. To be able to do both is Geoff Bodenham.
Bit of smut that was, wasn't it? Well, good evening, everybody. I'm so glad you came along. It's nice to have an audience when you're trying to sing a song. It warms the cockles of my heart and makes me rather proud to be greeted with applause from such a nice, dense crowd. When I play upon my instrument, it often starts to rain. When you've heard me sing, you'll never be the same again. I have plenty of experience in music and in rhyme. I've been playing with my instrument now for quite some time. I played my program everywhere, in country and in town, in the George and in the Dog and Duck and in the Rose and Crown. Am I good or am I bad? Please judge that as you will, 'cause soon I've got the feeling you'll have had your fill. Well, compared with other guitar players, I think I know the score. I've just learnt another chord that brings my total up to 4. My fingering is fantastic when I'm strumming this guitar, 'cause I practice up on zippers and on ladies' bras. And when I do my monologues, folk think it's just the thing. They know that while I'm talking, they won't have to hear me sing. And telling little jokes, the audience starts to scream and shout. They hope by making all that noise they'll drown me out. So good evening, everybody. I hope I find you fit. Won't you settle back and listen while I sing a load of songs? I have lots of lovely ballads that I sing right from the heart. There are songs to make you giggle, there are songs to make you cry. There's songs for all occasions, whatever comes to pass. Take your glasses in your hand and sit down on your seats. I'll do the stuff that I've performed in folk clubs and in halls, where everyone agrees that it's a load of fun. I play my program everywhere, in country and in town, in the George and in the Dog and Duck and in the Rose and Crown. Am I good or am I bad? Please judge that as you will. Soon I've got the feeling you'll have had your fill. Thank you. I think most of you know that I'm in what they call the teaching profession, and have been, not for too long actually, about 5 years. And it's quite a good profession, although we only get about 36 weeks holiday a year, you know, so could do a little bit better than that, I think. But no, seriously, some of the things that I've seen since I've been in teaching are absolutely mind-boggling. What I'm trying to do is over the years try and compile a few little items that kids from the age of 5 right up to 16 have come up with. And there's a wonderful book by a woman called Nanette Newman, which has got some, well, many marvellous things in from the age of 5 to 10. But I've just selected just a few here that really impressed me. You get little pictures in it. It's called All Our Love, and it's available any bookshop. You get pictures, are little sayings in the kiddie's handwriting. This is a classic here. It says, "Our vicar makes little children suffer." And "I wouldn't like me as a friend because I tell fibs." At Harvest Festival, God comes down and eats all the food in the church. Classic. And according to this one little girl, Simon, little girl, according to Simon, age 10, your parents have to tell you off because they don't want you to grow up like them. My dad says he's reading the news, but he's only looking at ladies with no clothes on. Where are we? Oh, yes. Jesus is too tired to come back again. He's gone off people. There's nothing in the Bible about sending Christmas cards. So that was rather nice. It lets me off this year again. And according to little Anthea, I think Jesus would be upset if he knew what went on at Christmas. I will be a teacher and get long holiday. Oh no, I'll forget that one. We won't go into that one. Another little girl here. When I grow up, I will be a doctor and pull things out and put things back. This is a classic. I got this little Mila, age 7. She said, I ran away, but nobody came to find me, so I ran back. I hate spoilt children because they have everything that I want. One of my favourite songs of all time is an old American folk song. First heard it in the 50s. It's called 7 Daffodils. I ain't got a mansion, I ain't got any land, not even a paper dollar to crinkle in my hand. But I can show you the morning on 1,000 hills and kiss you and give you 7 daffodils. I ain't got a fortune to buy you pretty things, but I can weave you moonbeams for necklaces and rings, and I can show you the morning on 1,000 hills and kiss you and give you 7 daffodils. 7 golden daffodils shining in the sun to light the way to evening when the day is done. And I can show you the morning on 1,000 hills and kiss you and give you 7 daffodils. I ain't got a mansion, I ain't got any land, not even a paper dollar to crinkle in my hand. And I can show you the morning on 1,000 hills and kiss you and give you 7 daffodils. And I can show you the morning on 1,000 hills and kiss you and give you 7 daffodils. We don't have a lot of time on these records, as you well know. I'm going to press on very quickly. School reports, you know, most of us here have either got brothers or sisters or sons or daughters who go to school. You get reports at the end of each term, and really it's not really what the teacher writes, it's what sort of is implied For instance, give you an example. If the teacher writes a born leader, it simply means that he runs a protection racket. And if he's helpful, it means he's a creep. Reliable, grasses on his mates. Expresses himself confidently, cheeky little bastard. Enjoys all PE activities, thug. Needs praise and encouragement, thick as two short planks. Oh my God, a rather solitary child, smells or has nits. And going straight up to CSE and O-level. Some classics here. These are actually taken off CSE and O-level papers. For instance, a 60-foot tree, this is in geography by the way, right? A 60-foot tree can break wind for up to 200 yards. Can you imagine that? And in science, this little fella wrote, we lose water by sweating and urinating. We gain our intake of water by reversing these processes. We come to physics now. According to this chappie here, the light passes through the lens and is focused on the rectum. Question. The electrolyte used in the manufacture of aluminium has a very high melting point. How is this lowered? Answer. Using a crane. And really talking about biology, it is inadvisable to climb the stairs or mow the lawn without a heart, as it is a vital organ. A warning should be given to teachers intending to use microscopes for the study of small organisms, particularly with younger pupils. A hydra feeds by waving its testicles in the air. However, one can't help wondering whether over-interpretation is creeping in, especially where private reading is concerned. This is in English literature. One candidate asked to write about her own literary tastes remarked about Daphne du Maurier's Rebecca. I would recommend this book to girls of 15 and over who like big climaxes. And English language, test paper, set just before Christmas. It's lovely to come downstairs on Christmas morning to see the Christmas cake, the shining Christmas tree, and the rapings on the floor. There's one song that I must include in this short programme, and that is a song by Thackeray called On Again, because, you know, I mean, he really is under the impression when he wrote this song that he was being nagged at pretty vilely. I love a good bum and a woman, it makes my day. To me it is palpable proof of God's existence, eh? Posteriori also I love ankles and those elbows and those knees. It's the tongue and a woman that spoils the job for me. Please understand, respect and admire the frailer sex. And I honour them every bit as much as the next. Misogynist, but give some women the ghost of a chance to talk, and thereupon they'll go on again, on again, on again, on again, on again, on again, on. I fell in love with a woman with wonderful thighs and hips. And a sensational belly, I just never noticed her lips. Were always moving, only when we got to the altar she had to say I do. She folded her arms, she gathered herself, she took in her breath, and I knew she could have gone on again, on again, on again, till the entire congregation passed out and the vicar passed on and the choir boys passed through puberty at the reception. I gloomily noticed her family's jubilant mood, their maniacal laughter and their ghastly gratitude. She talks to me when I go for a shave or a sleep or a swim. She talks to me on a Sunday when I go singing hymns and drinking heavily when I go mending my chimney potches down there on the street. And at 95 on my motorbike, she's on the pillion seat, wittering on again and again and again and again. When I'm eating or drinking or reading or thinking or when I'm saying my rosary, she will never stop talking to me. She's one of those women who will never use 2 or 3 words and a couple of million will easily do. She also talks without stopping to me in her bed of a night. Throughout the sweetest of our intimate delights, she never gives over, not even stopping where we go hammer and tongue towards the peak. Except maybe for a sign, a groan, and one perfunctory shriek, and then she goes on again and again and again, and I must assume that she has never noticed that she's just been interrupted. So totally unruffled she is, and as far as I can see, I might just as well have been posting a letter or stirring the bleeding tea. She will not take a hint, and once she's made a start, I can yawn or belch or bleed or faint or fart. She'll not drop a syllable. I can stand in front of her grimly sharpening up an axe. I could sprinkle her with paraffin and ask her for a match. She'd just go on and again and again and again even more. The hind leg of her donkey is peanuts for her she could bore. The balls of a buffalo, mother of God, I cried one day, oh let your kingdom come. And in the meantime, mother, could you strike this bugger dumb? 'Cause give some women the ghost of a chance to talk if they're fun. They will go on and again and again and again. They will go on again, on again, on again, on again, on again, on again, on. Once upon a rhyme there lived a gritty little pearl called Prinderella. Prinderella lived at home with her 2 sisty uglers and her naked web-strapper. Prinderella's 2 sisty uglers made her wean the clindos, flub the scraws, and do all the weighty-dirk. One day the Pransome Cince of the Pringdom sent out a proclamation saying that all the gritty little pearls of the Pringdom should come to a Drancy Fress ball. Well, Prinderella's 2 sisty uglers had Drancy Fresses, so they went to the Drancy Fress ball. But all Prinderella had was a worty dag, so she cat and scried, hoo boo, hoo boo. All of a sudden, who should appear but Prinderella's Gary Frogmother, and Prinderella's Gary Frogmother turned Prinderella's worty dag into a Drancy Fress, and Prinderella went to the Drancy Fress ball and dranced with the Pransome Cince all night long. But at the moke of Shrid night, Prinderella ran down the Stally's peps, and on the bottom step she slopped her dripper. The very next day, the Pransome Cince sent out yet another proclamation, saying that all the gritty little pearls should come to the palace and sly on the slob dripper. The gritty little pearls slide on the slob dripper, fidn't dit. Prinderella's 2 sisty uglers slide it on, fidn't dit. And Prinderella's naked web-strapper slide it on, fidn't dit. Prinderella slide it on, fit dit. So Prinderella and the Pransome Cince got larried and lived slappily after ever. But storrel to the more ears, all you have to do is slop your dripper on the Stally's peps if with the Pransome Cince you want to fall in love. Some of you might have heard this before. It's from the days of the 70s when kiddies were encouraged to sort of develop their own personalities and, you know, spell things the way they thought it sounded. This is a beauty, and the spelling is Y-A-N-E-T-I-N. Right, Y-A-N-E-T-I-N. And I called the little fella up. I said, "Which is very good, John." I said, "But I don't understand this one word here." And he read it out to me. It went something like, "I was helping my father put up a chicken coop, and we got the floor down, and we got the sides up, and we got the roof on, RUFE, but we had a bit of trouble with the wire netting." I thought, that's it. I'm packing it. But it couldn't have been all that thick, because when it came to the next exam in English, the question was, underline the missing word, and he wrote in beautiful English underneath, "How can I tell thee?" You get some absolutely wonderful results in tests, you know, like the longest river in the world is the Mississippi. The longest man-made canal in the world is the Sewerage Canal. Great aid. Some of the notes I used to get as well, unbelievable. Never forget the one note. It said, "Dear Mr. Bugglemon, I don't want Jane to have Jim this week, spelt with a J, because she had Jim last week and it still hurts." I was getting out of the car one morning when I arrived at school, and normally this little girl's father took her every day. And for the first time in many, many years, he became ill. And so just as she was getting out of the car, she turns around to her mummy and says, "Mummy, where are all the sods and bastards this morning? We haven't met any. All the way to school." Going from the 5 to 10-year-olds, some right pearlers that I've seen in middle schools. There's 2 or 3 here from a school that I taught at a couple of years ago. This one little fellow was writing about his holidays in a very remote cottage off the Scottish coast somewhere. He said, "And for something to do in the evenings, we would have to tell stories and play with ourselves." Oh, God, it's a classic one here. "The Cavaliers and Roundheads was 2 armies that fought." Can you imagine that, you know, 20,000 blokes lined up against each other, and the commanding officer saying, you know, "Attention, about 10, bend double, commence." Incredible. "The knight and his lady was thrown into the dungeon to root," which I thought was a classic. There's naught but care on every hand, in every hour that passes, oh, what signifies that life, oh man, if it were not for the Rashes-O. Give me a canarity with my arms about my dearie-o, and worldly men and worldly cares may all go topsy-turvy-o. You seduce, you sneer at this, you're naught but senseless asses, oh, his apprenticed hand he tried on man, and then he made the Rashes-O.
Won't you please keep on talking while it's time for us to heal the open wound? We can't pretend that we're happy, and there's nothing worse than knowing that you're not. Nothing worse than losing, nothing worse than losing what you got. When your life is on the line and there's dark storm clouds gathering round you, the bad times are the only times you see. But we started tall and proud, like the fir trees and the pines that face the winter. It's weird somehow, I can't say how, but we're changing now to willows. Won't you please keep on talking while it's time for us to heal the open wound? We can't pretend that we're happy, and there's nothing worse than knowing that you're not. There's nothing worse than losing, nothing worse than losing what you got. Let's take a little walk through the scented fields that always made us happy. Maybe the towns and crowds have made us lose our heads. And I've heard it said that willows bend against the hardest weather that can threaten. So is there no hope now? Please don't hit so low. Let's not write a show for losers. Won't you please keep on talking while it's time for us to heal the open wound? We can't pretend that we're happy, and there's nothing worse than knowing that you're not. There's nothing worse than losing, nothing worse than losing what you got. So is there no hope now? Please don't hit so low. Let's not write a show for losers. Thoughts of you linger at night. Days when I thought you were mine. Then something came between us. Someone stopped to think. Those days are over now, gone like a bird on the wing. Away like a bird, away like a bird, away like a bird on the wing. New life is waiting to start. Memories will fade in the dark. Sure as seasons follow, cold winter promising spring. Happiness from sorrow, I'll fly like a bird on the wing. Away like a bird, away like a bird, away like a bird on the wing. Oh, tomorrow is the first day of the rest of our time. So much not done, so much untold. New people, new places are there on the line. Let's lose the glitter and grab the gold. Let's sing like a bird on the wing. Away like a bird, away like a bird, away like a bird on the wing. New life is waiting to start. Memories will fade in the dark. As sure as seasons follow, cold winter promising spring. Happiness from sorrow, I'll fly like a bird on the wing. Away like a bird, away like a bird, away like a bird on the wing. Oh, away like a bird, away like a bird, away like a bird on the wing. In my thoughts, I'll see you forever. Fairest queen I've ever known. Nature's beauty we'll share together. Forests and lakes in summer and snow. days of moonbeams playing on Toy Town, noddy big ears and room bare, soft spring days bringing the bluebells. We believed that heaven was there. Lullaby, my darling, I'll sing you when the day is done. Dream of love for one another and days in the sun. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't think badly of me, young beauty, if we don't see eye to eye. I'll be by your side, young beauty, if your dreams begin to die. Trials and troubles soon pass over when we think they'll never end. Grains of sand in life's ocean, let's treasure the time we've to spend. Lullaby, my darling, I'll sing you when the day is done. Dream of love for one another and days in the sun. Whoa, 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 whoa. In my thoughts, I'll see you forever. Fairest queen I've ever known. Nature's beauty we'll share together. Forests and lakes in summer's snow. The rain is on the mountainside. The beast is in the silent meadow. North countryside is patiently waiting again. Blackbird is dumb in the juniper. Lapwing shivers in the dripping thicket. Down in the stone-faced town, one door opens, and though the weather blow wild, I see the shepherd step onto his moorside. And in despite of the cold, the poor farmer goes to his meadow below. When the birch tree is agonized, and when the little river is tormented, the land on its knees, the house on its hunkers, is a figure moving by the wall, leaning for breath upon a stony shoulder, his eyes to the sky, seldom lifted. Although the weather blow wild, I see the shepherd step into his moorside. And in despite of the cold, the poor farmer going to his meadow below. North country, countryside, the grim indifference of your nature. Most other men would turn, stumbling homeward. But this one, he's a different kind. He knows the pinches of an older hunger, a greater storm than yours in his heart rages. But though the weather blow wild, I hear the shepherd whistling on his moorside. And in despite of the cold, the poor farmer singing in his meadow below. Tied is her hair, he knots his tie, she pours the tea, he gives a sigh. Time's come to leave, so he strokes her cheek and says, wait for the phone, he'll call her. Back in the car, he thinks ahead, rehearses the words, forgets the bed, stops for the flowers, then it's home to see the kids, while she waits for the phone to call her. Married to hoping, but mistress to man, sharing an hour whenever he can. Wife in the country, but love in the town. Someone to listen whenever he's down, someone to play at the game of unconcern, who'll wait for the phone to call her. Married to hoping, but mistress to man, sharing an hour whenever he can. He'll never know how long is her day? She stares to see just where they lay. Then while he drinks with friends and whisks her love away, she waits for the phone to call her. She waits for the phone to call her. They're playing our song, Marguerita, dancing its last time with me. It won't be long, Marguerita, soon I'll be overseas. Let me know that you'll care when I've gone over there. They're playing a song, Marguerita, dancing this last time with me. Kiss me again, Marguerita. Give me a memory of you. They say in France, Marguerita, one more push, we'll be through. Yes, I'll write, but where from? All they'll say is this song. So kiss me again, Marguerita. Give me a memory of you. It's a new world, Marguerita, that we'll build when it's through. In that new world, Marguerita, we'll be wed, me and you. My old great aunt Marguerita, she'd been blind for 30 years, would tell me of young Marguerita, of her man and her tears. She would say he was tall, there's his picture on the wall. My great aunt Marguerita, she'd been blind for 30 years. And she would ask, is he smiling? I would stare at the frame, but the sun was there shining through her window again, where that sun always shone. He had faded and gone, but she would ask, is he smiling? I would say he's the same. It's a new world, Marguerita, that we'll build when it's through. In that new world, Marguerita, we'll be wed, me and you. They're playing our song, Marguerita, dance it this last time with me. It won't be long, Marguerita, Soon I'll be overseas. Let me know that you care when I've gone.